All right. Well, thank you for joining us again. Good afternoon. I'm Mike Wagner, the Community Development Manager here at Alliant Energy. And we want to thank you for this webinar to help you monitor and control your energy use. Now, today we're going to introduce you to some programs that provide detailed insight into not only paying your bill, but also how you're using energy, when you're using it the most or least. And hopefully, you can use these tools to use and manage your energy more efficiently. Having online access to your account is also really helpful. If a scammer calls you, they start demanding payment immediately. Well, this is something we don't do, but if it happens, you can at least get into these apps, look at your account, and find some peace of mind by logging in, checking to see, making sure everything is paid up and you're good to go. So that's an added benefit of what we're talking about today. Now, as a reminder, the microphones are muted. We'll have some questions toward the end of the presentation, and we'll address any unanswered questions in a follow-up email after the webinar. So we know your time is valuable, so let's get started. Let's introduce you to the experts for today's webinar. Allie Gearin is a customer experience specialist at Alliant Energy, and she'll talk about My Account. And Nick Ludwig is a customer solutions specialist at Alliant Energy, and he'll be showing us the benefits of energy analytics. Allie, why don't you get us started? Tell us a little bit about My Account, and I think a really good place to start. I know when I get into a new app and I have all these options and I can choose views and how I want to see things, I'm always afraid I'm going to break it or I'm going to mess things up. You really cannot break or mess up this app. That's right?
That's right. My account's really user friendly. We do encourage customers to get in my account, click around, become familiar because you definitely cannot break it. So that's a great point. Definitely want to encourage folks to get in there and use the tool. All right, so I'm going to talk about a few things today, specifically to do with our website and my account. We'll first be looking at some things that you can find at alliantenergy.com. Then we'll be learning about some My Account items that you can view when you log in. And then Nick will take us through some more specific details about energy analytics and how to use that to save energy, save money, and be more engaged with your usage. So one of the first things I wanted to show you was some of the good resources that we have when it comes to understanding your bill from our website at alliantenergy.com. And out here on the website, there's a lot of great information. You do not have to be logged in to get to this information. And one of those places is right here under account and billing. If you go to the Understanding Your Bill link here, you'll find that if you're looking at your bill and you have some questions about either specific terminology or line items that you may be curious about, you can click on the correct type of billing that you are. This is an example of a small business in Iowa. And that will provide a really handy diagram and definitions of what some of those line items mean and what the different charges that go into your bill are defined as. So that's a really nice tool out there. There's lots of other great stuff through the website that we do encourage you to take a look at. If you have time or if you have questions, it's a really good resource. So getting into My Account, just want to briefly cover what is My Account and how that works. My Account is a platform that Alliant Energy offers to customers to allow you to access your account information online and manage your accounts. Uh, My Account offers the ability to view and pay your bills. You can also view your usage. You can sign up for really good notifications that are really informative, and those are available also through My Account. You can enroll and manage in your programs such as automatic payment or budget billing. And you can also make My Account updates. So that could be to your phone number, your email address, your mailing address, and other contact information. So it's a good resource there if you need to manage your account either on the website, through a tablet or a smartphone. It's very convenient. I want to take you through the process today about how to enroll in My Account if you haven't already taken the opportunity to do that. To get started, you will click on the Enroll button here on the login page. And what you'll need to have handy is the last four digits of either the Social Security number or federal tax ID number that's tied to your Alliant account, as well as your Alliant Energy account number. And that account number can be found on your bill. Once you enter that information, you will be taken through the process of setting up your username and password. And you can see here, this is an example of the form. You're also given the opportunity to update your phone number or your email address that's on file with us. Once you've completed the enrollment form, you'll get a pop-up confirmation here letting you know that you're almost completely done with the process and that you should receive an email at your email address that you provided. This email just simply lets you know that you've taken the time to sign up for my account, and all you need to do at this point is to click the link in the email to complete the enrollment. Once you click that link to complete the enrollment, you'll be able to log in to my account and start enjoying all of the benefits that it has to offer. So here you'll see I'm going to walk through a couple of parts of my account that are really good tools, really beneficial parts of the website that you may find a benefit from. So you notice here after we log in, we're greeted with not only the amount due and the due date if we have one, but we also do offer some quick links like pay now, view bill, and some other information here from the home screen. One thing I'd like to take a look at is simply how to view your bill, which of course is very simple here by clicking the View Bill button. When you do that, it's going to open up a new browser window and it's going to display a copy of your bill statement here. And you'll notice that once this loads, it is very similar and looks just like your bill statement that you would get in the mail. So this is really handy because you can not only view it here, but you can also save that digitally if that's something that you'd like to keep a digital copy of. The next thing that I'd like to take a look here is how to view your billing history. So if you click on the billing drop down here and the bill and payment history, you not only get the current statement that we just viewed, but you'll get a history of all of your bill statements from the past. And you'll notice that they do also have a link for each one to view that same PDF of each independent bill if you'd like to do that. And you do have the option to export this bill history to Excel. That's handy if you like to keep a digital record again of your bill history for this account. And by clicking on payments, I get the same sort of historical view, just a history of all of the payments that have been made for the account. And this comes in handy around tax time if you're trying to prepare financial statements. Again, you can export this history also to Excel, so that's a really helpful tool. Moving on, we're going to take a look at usage information inside of my account. So we're going to click on the usage drop down here and usage overview. And you'll notice once this loads that we are presented with a bill cycle view of the usage for this account. So hovering over each bar, we can see the bill period dates, the amount that was consumed, and the number of days in the bill cycle. So this gives us just a snapshot view of the most recent 12 months of history. We can also click the toggle button here at the bottom for the weather overlay. And this adds a new graph onto that bar graph, just showing us the average daily temperature here for the area that you're located in for the nearest weather reporting location. So this adds a nice overview into what your usage was compared to what the weather was during that specific bill cycle. Again, you can export the usage history to Excel, which is a very nice tool, especially if you'd like to keep track of that history in a digital record. If we want to take it a step further and perhaps view looking at a daily or even hourly view, we can do that. So to view daily, I'm going to click on a specific month that I want to view, and you can see that the usage is then displayed at a daily rate. And by hovering over that, I can get the daily amount of consumption that happened each day. And taking that even a step down, I can click on a specific day that I want to look at and I can get an hourly view. So you see here that by hovering over, I can see the hourly consumption for that day. One other thing that's part of the usage module here is how to set up a high usage alert. And by clicking on this, I'm given the option to set up an alert that notifies me once I've used the amount of usage that I would like to be aware of. So in this situation, this is currently set up for 500 kilowatt hours. And you can base this upon where you'd like to be notified. That's different for every customer. I would recommend taking a look at your usage history and seeing where you're comfortable being notified of your usage. That way you still have an opportunity to change behavior or activity at the facility if it's during a bill cycle that you've already reached this amount. You can add up to 5 contact methods for the high usage notification. And just by clicking this plus button and adding in your different contact methods, you can receive these notifications by either email, text, or phone call, whichever you prefer. And then by clicking save, signs you up for that usage alert so that you'll be notified the next bill cycle once you've used the amount that you've set that at. The next piece of information here we'd like to share is just how to set up other notifications as well. Alliant Energy does offer multiple different notification types that can be useful to you, and that's found by going to My Profile and then Notification Preferences. For the notifications, you'll notice that you're offered several different types. Billing and payment will notify you when your bill is ready to view and when it becomes due. Outage is an outage notification that's both proactive and also continues to give you updates. So this is anything ranging from we're aware of your outage to also we know more information and have an updated estimated restoration time for the outage in your area. So those are very handy notifications to be signed up for and very beneficial. And then you'll also notice here we do have the high usage alert also on this screen. So it is in both locations, so it's convenient to set up for you. Any of these notifications can be signed up for a maximum of the 5 notification types. And again, all of those are available through either email, text, or phone. The final thing we'd like to take a look here to show you in my account is making it easier to manage the account with multiple possible users needing to be given access. If you go to My Profile and Guest User, this allows you to add different guest users to the account in order to access independently and view the information. It's a very simple process. You just click Invite User, select the account here, and then you would go through the process of adding their personal information such as their first and last name and their email address. And then you're going to also choose what guest type you'd like to add. We have 2 options, view only, which is just to be able to view the information online, and full access guest, which also allows the person to make changes, make payments, and make updates to the account information. Once the form is filled out and you submit this, it will send an email to the invited user asking them to accept the guest access to your account. And then it will prompt them to either log into an existing username that they have with us or to create a new username so that they can log in and access the information. And this is great for those type of facilities that may have an accounts payable department that needs to have access to the account, but also has other people on site that need to have independent access so that multiple people can get access to the same company account online. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Nick so that he can go through some information and details about energy analytics and how facilities can use that profile to engage with their usage, learn more insights, and save energy.
Thanks so much, Allie. So yeah, I'd love to take you through some of the features and benefits of our energy analytics tool and what's in it for you as a customer. Most importantly, how you can use the tool and your energy usage data to, of course, make better informed decisions about how you're using energy within your facilities, and of course, affecting your business and your bottom line. Energy analytics, I like to think of it as an extension of my account where all of our non-residential customers have access to this tool, Energy Analytics, through my account. In order to access the tool, you start, of course, in My Account, which means you need to have a My Account set up for your business. So, of course, if you haven't done that yet, set up your My Account. And then within My Account, you can navigate to the Usage tab. So the left-hand side is on the mobile view. The right-hand image here is the desktop view. So you hover over Usage and select Energy Analytics within that tab. Once you navigate to the tool, it starts by asking some mostly simple questions about your facility. And the premise here is to really get an understanding of the basics of your building in order to, of course, help make reasonable and accurate recommendations back to you to, of course, make the tool as useful as possible. So some of the questions include things like the square foot or size, area size of your facility, the number of employees who work there, the business operating hours, and then questions around how you use energy as a fuel. Do you have electric heating, gas heating, et cetera? There's some questions in there about renewables, some of the equipment in the facility, and all of that is in an attempt to make sure that the tool is then providing relevant and accurate information back to you. So this is what the tool looks like once you're logged in. And there are 3 primary navigation tabs. The one with most of the data is called Your Usage. And then there's these other 2 tabs, Facility Profile and Facility Opportunities. And I'm actually going to skip ahead just to the Facility Opportunities, just to give you a brief look at when you have your facility profile completed, what it might return to you for recommendations as a result of your facility profile. So this example simply shows this is likely a simple, with a very simple building in mind. The recommendation is to install low energy lighting, LED lighting, and also to consider installing energy efficient exit signs. You have different information in your facility profile about your industry type or how you're using energy. This could be, of course, much more specific to your own facility. So when thinking about how to remember to log in and touch points for thinking about how often you'd want to see this information, we have as of January last year started a new process where we're delivering this information to folks' inbox. So if you're signed up for My Account, you'll receive monthly usage emails for your business's accounts. That is also inclusive for guest users. So if you're a primary user in My Account and you want others at your company to also receive these monthly usage emails, you can go into My Account and add them as a guest user, as Allie previously described. And these emails, they're really quite simple, and it's mostly meant as a way to remind you to log into the tool, and also potentially, could be a moment where it flags high energy usage and helps make sure that you're seeing these snapshots on a regular basis. And most of these, it's a comparison against the previous month for these emails. Really just a small portion of all the data that's available to you. So I'd like to now take you through some use cases as questions that can be answered when thinking about how this tool can really be useful for your business and help answer reasonable questions that really will actually have a direct impact as to making sure that you're going to use your energy most efficiently. So the first thing, sort of use cases, is very general, but it really is quite important, and that's the idea of just ongoing maintenance and analysis of monitoring your usage. So besides just these monthly emails, potentially receiving your monthly bill statement either via email or in the mail, that's a nice trigger to, of course, also remind you to be logging into My Account and then further into Energy Analytics to review some of these things. And I'll showcase just a few of the graphs and charts that are available in energy analytics, and it's really just a small sample of what's really truly available in the tool. So this first is within the cost and usage tab, and this is the compare costs graph. Very simple, but and it expands on what's available in my account when we're talking about how things like the weather can impact your energy usage over time. So this chart here is simply comparing 1 month to the previous month. In this case, November 2023 to October 2023. You can also similarly compare it to the same period in the previous year, and then it shows a breakdown of why that is the case. And you can see here, we've saved money in November compared to October, according to this, due to weather conditions. And primarily, the weather accounted for $57, but then primarily, this suggests that the business's operations is really the primary cause that reduced the bill by $243. There's one fewer day, so there's another $41 for a total difference of $341, in savings as compared to the previous month due to those factors. So it's a nice way to get a breakdown as to how and why, in a very simple form, how and why your energy bill is what it is. Cost and usage in this cost trends chart, this is probably the most useful chart in my opinion in the entire tool. And I'm going to jump to the bottom of this to what's highlighted on the screen. There's a link that says download my energy use data. And similar to my account where you can download an Excel file, this link, download my energy use data within the cost trends graph, is where you can go to download 15-minute interval data, electric interval data. And that's in contrast to what's available in my account at hourly interval data. If your meter is set up, your meter configuration is set up in a way where you have advanced metering and 15-minute interval data is activated for you, this data would be available to you to download. Usually it's about a 3-day delay from real-time use. So in short order, after your usage, you can be logging into the tool, downloading this Excel file. It downloads as a CSV file. And then it really gives you full free reign to be able to manipulate the data and analyze your usage on that nuanced 15-minute interval data. So this chart also works to represent that, and it can be manipulated. It's an interactive tool, so you can be changing and the interface to look at different time windows. One other feature I'll point out is it says add a note, and if you make substantial changes to your operations or potentially add an area to your facility or add a new process, you can also come in, click this add note button, indicate the change that you made. And of course, that's just a nice way to, as an inflection point, to be able to analyze the operational changes that you might have made as a reflection onto your usage. The next one I'll review is the weather impact, and this is a more detailed view into how the weather impacts your usage. And whereas the red line is the average high temperature, the dark line is the average low temperature. And then this gives a suggestion on a monthly basis as to your weather-related usage. And really what you want to look out for here is your building's sensitivity to the weather, and wide variations in this chart would potentially indicate that there may be something unaligned with one of your systems. Primarily in most cases your HVAC system, and could be a potential opportunity for retro commissioning to analyze and look at your controls, your set points, and hopefully potentially make adjustments that could bring your HVAC system back into alignment as to how it's supposed to be functioning or it could be other issues, I suppose, with your building's envelope or overall building weather sensitivity issues. So you want to see consistency across this chart as it relates to weather impacts. Another metric that can be measured is available in the tool is energy intensity. And this is an indicator of your overall energy usage per unit of area or square foot. So in this case, this facility is operating at 6,300 kilowatt hours per square foot. That could be compared against industry benchmarks, but most importantly, you want to compare it against yourself. And it's important also to take into consideration your own business's operations, or in other words, outputs or units of measure that productivity measures associated with whatever your business is, of course, as that would certainly have an impact on this graph, and could sort of be overlaid here. So what I mean by that, of course, is if you're potentially a manufacturing customer on a monthly basis, you'd want to certainly overlay this metric with your production and the output of your facility. And obviously, if your production has increased, it would certainly be reasonable to assume that this number would be increasing. In the best case scenario is your production increases and this number goes down if you've made changes to your processes or potentially upgrades, energy efficient upgrades to your facility. It's certainly a positive thing. Everyone wants to see this number go down. It's all relative, though, of course, just compared to your business production. Another use case for this tool and ways to think about how you want to make sure you're analyzing your data and can have an impact on your business is as it relates, of course, to your rate and the tariff that you subscribe to as an Alliant Energy customer. So I have just included here, this is one of many rates, the electric large general service rate. These can all be found at alliantenergy.com. And I just want to point out, of course, that there are, this is a complex, multi-layered analysis of your energy usage that certainly just doesn't include, kilowatt hours and straight usage. There are, of course, implications as to when you're using electricity at the time of day that have impacts, of course, on your final bill. And it's certainly very reasonable for a customer to look at this chart, these charts, look at the time of day usage, depending on the rate that you're on. And of course, optimize your business practices and the timing as to when you're going to be using this energy in order to, of course, make it the most efficient use of your dollar, and in turn, how you're able to maximize on that and run your business as efficiently and effectively as possible. So we'll look at one way to think about that in that context of the timing associated with your rate. And energy analytics, if you've entered into your facility profile your operating hours, this graph will show you really how you're doing in terms of your energy usage as compared to your operating hours. And if you're doing it well, your graph would look something like this. This is a relatively simple example. There may be customers with nonstop 24-hour production schedules, and if that were the case, there would be straight yellow bars across the whole chart. In this case, this company opens at about 7 a.m. and shuts down at about 3:30 p.m. And you can see here the dark blue demand time periods behind the yellow bars align very closely with their operating hours. And so they're ramping up starting at 6 a.m. Up until 7, and then they're operating at full steam throughout the day, and then they're at 3:30 or 4 o'clock, they really start to ramp down. The only thing that I'd point out here, in the Friday at 4 o'clock, they do a little bit extra, and they really turn off their systems sort of all the way, versus Monday through Thursday night. It could be lights, could be exterior lights, could be HVAC. some system or some other custom system, some system in their facility, continues to run Monday night through Thursday night, at low levels granted, but still would certainly make an impact if they were to analyze and adjust, whatever they're shutting off on Friday at 4 p.m. It's certainly worth considering also shutting that off Monday through Thursday. This is another way to visualize the same issue, and this chart it's once again it's interactive. So when you're in the tool, you can use your cursor and hover over the many different areas. This is a snapshot in this case of January through July, and the chart continues when you log in, and it's just a really nice way to quickly visualize your usage in a really intricate way. This data can similarly be exported and into an Excel worksheet and further manipulated. But this shows something specific happened around what might that be, March 25th or so. If I were in the tool, I could hover over and see the exact dates that really helped shape some differences here. This went from light green to a dark green, which is a positive thing. This went from an orange or a red to a yellow. And so whatever they did on March 20th, 2023, really had substantial effects moving forward. Similarly, this goes to show just the effects of likely seasonal HVAC on the facility as they get into the summer months, and some of the highest demand periods are certainly in the middle of the day, in July. So another way, this would be an interesting thing to look at, whatever day this was, right? There's April 15th, maybe somebody potentially, left something on either overnight or didn't follow whatever normal protocols might have been in place to shut the facility down appropriately, or maybe there was an overtime shift necessary, but it's nice to be able to visualize that. The tool also helps get at the business question around which major systems or which types of equipment are the culprits to using the most of my energy, and what can I do about it? So this graph here is within the tool is called end use. And I want to re-emphasize the idea that these are assumptions made by the tool, of course, and it's only as good as the information that the tool knows about your facility. So once again, very, very much reliant on your completion of your facility profile. We talked about at the beginning of this. And so based on the facility profile and what we know about this customer, this example, we've got 54% of their usage is coming from lighting. There's some columns here that go into a comparison of our usage versus similar facilities, and then even further, what an efficient facility might look like for those values. And so there's, of course, a huge delta here between 5.02 and 1.32 of potential opportunity for energy efficient upgrades to lighting. So if I'm facility operations manager or an owner, or maybe even in finance for this company, I look at this and I say this is an easy decision here. If we're looking to make upgrades, lighting is by far our biggest opportunity, and huge energy savings to be had with lighting as a possibility. The tool also helps compare one facility against other sort of peer facilities of similar industry types and in the same area. One way to do that, we've seen this chart. This is the same as what was before, energy intensity. I brought it up again just as a point to say there are industry benchmarks certainly published by the Department of Energy. And it's worth doing a search as to potentially what a good goal might be for you, for your business. I mean, they're very specific down to, sort of the industry type. So you can take this value, compare it against those stated benchmarks, and be able to give you a sense if you're, above or below. But then further, the tool takes your information, and in this example, we're looking at 9.63 kilowatt hours per square foot. This references similar facilities are even higher than what we've accomplished. But then it goes to show that both, I mean, our example here and other similar facilities have a lot of room for improvement, as the stated value for these types of facilities to be considered efficient is, much lower usage down here at 3.39 kilowatt hours per square foot. So this says that there's certainly a lot of room for improvement, a lot of energy to be saved by making efficient upgrades. So with that, I'd love to hand it back over to Mike, see if we have questions, and thanks very much for your time.
Nick, let's get started with you, and then we'll bring in Allie here to answer part of this question too. Talk a little bit more about the importance of those weather overlays, those weather charts that we have in here. Why is that a tool, or how should I use that as a tool, or use that to kind of put things in perspective?
Yeah, really great question. Thanks, Mike. Of course, energy usage and non-residential facilities. Nothing is ever entirely the same, right? Things change, and buildings are dynamic. They're sort of living, breathing facilities, and that weather chart, or the various weather charts that we looked at, really they give you a good sense as to the overall sensitivity to our environments and the weather. And more than anything, if you see irregularities, it's a good opportunity to reach out to us. It could be a strong indicator that your building would benefit from an energy audit. And then if it's identified, could also be really a strong candidate for retro commissioning. So that's in my mind one of the best use cases for those weather charts.
Yeah, and I would just add to that, it's a really good overall picture, I think. We sometimes forget about heating and cooling, which is a big piece of what the weather looks like outside. You may have that thermostat set at the same comfortable temperature, but depending on if it's hot or cold outside, your furnace or air conditioner may be working overtime in order to keep up with that temperature. So I think it's always a nice addition to be able to look back and see that information, especially because it's really hard to remember how hot it was back in August when we're looking at it in January now. So it's just a really good piece of the puzzle when you're trying to put together what your usage patterns are like.
Yeah, that's great information. Allie, in my account, can I link my accounts? Or am I limited to the number of accounts I can link in my account?
Yeah, you're not limited at all. You can easily access in my account and click the link button to link any additional accounts that you want to have tied to the same username. So very simple process. All you need to have handy is you need to be able to log in, and then you need to have those additional account numbers along with the identifier, which is either that social security number or federal tax ID number, to get them linked up.
And we'll stay with you, Allie, and then we'll switch over to Nick here for this one. How far back can I go? How much data do you have on my account or
Yeah,
in,
so
in energy analytics?
great question. So on our usage module itself, we have 24 months of history that you can go back and compare. If we're talking billing history, where you want to go back and look at your history even further, if you've been a customer for longer, it's back as long as you've been a customer. Now, of course, keep in mind with the usage module, if you have recently got a smart meter, an AMI meter, you may only be looking at bill cycle data because the hourly and the daily usage comes from the AMI meter. So depending on how long you've had that will determine how long you can see the daily and hourly figures for.
And in energy analytics, the data goes back as far as you've had smart metering set up. And the tool was established sometime in 2019. So either as long as you've had a smart meter with the same meter configuration, or as far back as 2019.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Nick, can I use these tools and screens to somehow compare the benefits of maybe switching over to three-phase?
Ooh, yeah. So there's analysis that can be done, of course. But that certainly is a more robust conversation that customer would greatly benefit from a conversation with either our business resource center or your dedicated key account manager, your CAM. So I'd recommend don't go that path alone, and certainly reach out to your CAM to have that conversation.
Okay. And then I guess one last question for you, Nick, too. Power factor. Is there a power factor correction view anywhere in here that I can look at?
Some of our customers' meter types are in fact enabled. Their meter configuration supports that data, and their view, they log into Energy Analytics, it would show, indeed, yes, show power factor information as a subset of their data.
Okay. And if they want to enable that view, get in touch with your key account manager or the BRC, or that might be an equipment issue too.
That's right. Yep, all going to be highly dependent on your meter configuration and of course to your business needs. So if that, once again, you're right, Mark. That's a good point. That's a really good conversation to have with the Business Resource Center or your CAM.
And that is just a perfect segue to this slide here about the Business Resource Center. The Business Resource Center offers a lot of solutions for you, and that's just some of the many things that's available. You can get in touch with those folks there by that email address. They also have a phone number, and that's 1-866-Alliant, not 1-800, 1-866. There will be somebody there to answer the call for you. If they're on another line, it kicks over to an answering machine. They'll get back to you as soon as they can. And then also, if you're one of the customers or industries that has a dedicated key account manager, one of those CAMs who serve us across Iowa, get in touch with them and they can help you answer some of those questions. Really big thanks to Allie and Nick today. Thank you, our experts today. Copies of this webinar are going to be made available to all of our participants. If you still have questions, reach out to our experts and we'll get those answers to you. Also, keep an eye out in your email inbox for a save the date email once we have the next topic, time, and date. This is about the third one of these we've done, and we're getting some really great success and feedback on those. As part of your feedback, if there's something that you're interested in learning more about, contact us. Let us know about that topic, and we can certainly consider that for future presentations. Alliant Energy, we want to thank you for attending today's webinar, and have a safe day and a great rest of the day and weekend.